Growing up, I was happy. Me and my little brother would pick vegetables, and my mother would make them into beautiful dishes. She was always cooking, and we were always eating. When I was 10, things changed. One day, my father was in an accident, and to this day hasn't fully recovered. 2 years later, my mother died of a heart attack. I miss her every day. After that, I did my best to contribute to the family. I worked multiple jobs, and when I was 18, landed a good one with a magazine company, but they quickly went out of business. I didn't know what to do. Luckily, a friend of a friend knew of a job outside of the country. My sadness changed to excitement. I'd be able to move to a higher-paying country and provide for my family. They were worried, but wanted to give me a chance at something more. The person that I met with was nice and helpful. The paperwork was in another language, so the man told me what they said. I'd make twice as much as I made at the magazine at a job in a restaurant in a big city. They took my picture and I signed some contracts. The only thing was that I had to pay back the cost of my trip. I felt lucky they were willing to be so helpful. I packed my things and felt proud. But right away, things weren't what I expected. I wasn't in a major city, and I lived with a family that owned the restaurant. They took my passport so I couldn't leave before I paid off my debt. I tried to stay positive, but I was exhausted. I worked all day, and the wife watched me. 2 months went by, and I felt embarrassed and like a failure. I missed my family and was only paid a third as much as promised. They said the rest of my paychecks would go to my expenses until after I paid everything back. I figured that at least I was still making more than back home. I sent my family everything and kept up appearances so I wouldn't make my dad sad. After half a year, things didn't change. The first couple times I asked about payment, the couple said I was ungrateful and didn't understand how much things cost. Months later, they turned sour and told me I was in the country illegally and threatened to send the picture taken of me to the police if I left. They said I wouldn't be able to send any money home if I was in jail. I realized they had my passport and that I didn't even know what the original contracts had said. I felt trapped but figured they were right. At least this way I could make some money and stay out of prison. One day, a woman who spoke my language came into the restaurant and handed me a lip balm with a number. She said that I had rights. I lost my breath when she said it was illegal to make workers pay off a debt. I couldn't even speak to tell her all I'd experienced. I carried the lip balm in my pocket at all times. Weeks later, I used a phone when no one was looking. I called the number. I was connected with a local office and found support at the IRC.